Hi, this is day 2 of my Journey to Life video series that I will be walking, and this coincides with my blog writing that I am continuing to write each day. I'm on day 2, obviously, and yesterday, so it was last night that I wrote this blog out. So this is basically how it will run. I'll write the blog out the night before, go to work, and then read it through, say my self-forgiveness aloud, my self-commitment statements, my self-corrective statements, and then I'm going to do a video. So within my realizations of what I wrote in my blog for today, it was about survival and the fear of not surviving here. This point was brought up in a post on the Destiny forum about oil running out and how people go straight to fear and what if scenarios, future projections, and within that possible outcome of oil running out, your survival is in question because resources are out. It's kind of that end of the world type scenario, doomsday. So within this, I saw the fear within myself, and I wrote it out, and I saw that firstly, fear in itself is not real, as it is made up within the mind. It is fueled and generated through pictures and ideas and beliefs in your mind, and focusing on future projections in your mind, which is only generated by yourself through your head, through your mind thinking. And as I've realized within myself and this process that I'm walking of equality and oneness, that what is real, what is here, who we are is here as physical beings. We as physical beings here have the ability to direct ourselves. We have the ability to create ourselves. And when we project ourselves into the future, when we fear in our heads, it's like a limitation that we put on ourselves unnecessarily, but based on how we were designed and how we've designed ourselves, and just getting actually addicted to this fear, we continually participate in it. So it was cool to write it out and see that within this fear, it constricts you, and it makes you, I correlated it to ego. The fear, being fearful, and in fear you compensate within your world and you go into ego. And I kind of did my self-forgiveness on a more general basis, on an existential basis, which was, I haven't done that really yet, so it was kind of a cool process. And so I did it in more of a general form. And so I was writing about ego and how, when you're in fear, you'll do, things like go and, like fear of loss. When you're in a survival mode, you fear losing your material goods because those goods are keeping you alive in this system. And so when you fear the loss of these goods, you're going to go into ego and, generate this desire to get more. And so you go out and you could steal, harm someone, abuse someone, and only be looking out for yourself. So fear goes hand in hand with ego, and I did a lot of forgiveness on ego as well. So within my self-corrective statement and my commitment to life, I stated that within ourselves, within the principles of oneness and equality, as we walk, we can, fear is not necessary. Fear is not productive. It's not beneficial for the betterment of man, as it is something that kind of keeps you in place and keeps you frozen and afraid to move and to express yourself and to create yourself and direct yourself. You see this within world systems where, they do the fear tactics of, the terrorists are going to come attack us, or Saddam Hussein is our enemy and he has all these weapons. When we have a cache of nuclear weapons and all sorts of stuff. So within that fear, the people go into fear, he does have weapons, he's going to come here and attack us. And within this fear, the people who use that fear go into war, gain money, gain this business, gain resources and all sorts of different avenues. So fear is a useful tool to suppress people, and we use it in ourselves, and we suppress ourselves when we go into fear. So it's a point where I'm walking to stop all fear within myself, not accept and allow thoughts and ideas and beliefs about others that put me into fear. And a big point is not accepting others as myself, separating myself from others. So within the separation, you have this idea that you don't know who that person is. You are afraid of them. They're scary. They're not known. They're different. And through the point of separation, the fear can grow and kind of distort and become a huge thing. And, we're not separate from each other. The people in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Iran, in Jerusalem, in China, in Africa, they're me. I'm one and equal with them. They're physical human bodies. They're living their lives day to day, and we're not separate from each other. Just because we're in separate lands, different separate places on the earth, doesn't mean that we're separated. So it's really stopping the point of separation within us that, creates this fear of others, because there's no need to be afraid of each other. I mean, it's over time it's been used, so there's a big point of process that we need to walk, each one of us, to gain the stability within ourselves and align ourselves with equality and oneness. But just a point of understanding and realizing that we are not separate here. We're all human physical bodies. We're all here on earth. A lot of Destonians are, instead of calling us by national, American, South African, Canadian, Portuguese, Chinese, we're just earthlings. We're from the earth. We're here as on the earth. And so within the point that I'm starting to understand and see through how fear actually is very constricting and suppresses you, you can stop this, and within the stopping these fears of, end of the world type scenarios, the oil running out, a comet hitting us or something, we can, from stopping the fears, from becoming present here, from becoming grounded within yourself, and from accepting yourself one and equal with all life, and seeing yourself within each one, not being afraid of others, just accepting them because that person is me. That being on the other side of the world is me. So we're just this, we're here, we're living, we're the same. And within this understanding, the fear of survival can be stopped. The acceptance of each other can be embraced. And another point is that you won't be used by fear. You'll see right through it, and you'll direct yourself always within oneness and equality, always within what is best for every being on this planet. And I'm walking this. I won't allow myself to allow fear to separate me and compromise my process. So with these self-forgiveness statements that I've walked through this blog, I'm seeing and realizing that I'm here. I am one and equal with all. And within this groundedness, within this here-ness of yourself, within this equality of yourself and oneness with life, being present is where the solutions are. Being in reality, understanding yourself as reality, understanding the scope of, the consequences of what we're facing, and taking responsibility for them, and through taking responsibility for these consequences, then solutions are able to be generated, because, within the points of oneness and equality, a group is formed, a solid one group is formed within principled living of oneness and equality. Everyone's included. We're living for what's best for all. We're living self-honestly. We're proving ourselves through time, through application, through visual showing of ourselves that we are walking this process and we are changing ourselves. We're determined and committed to align ourselves with oneness and equality, so that we can create a better world for everyone, so we can stop starvation, so we can stop this system of absolute inequality that is causing huge amounts of fear, huge amounts of pain and suffering, and fear of even surviving, because the chance of survival is, very scarce. I mean, survival is determined by money, and you fear not having a job, you fear not having money, you fear not having an income, you fear for your family, you fear for your kids. So this system that we're living in is generating the fear and is perpetuating fear, which is unnecessary. So within my statements, within the corrective statements, I am aligning myself with oneness and equality and standing as a solution. There's tons of ideas out there, there's tons of solutions out there to these issues that we're facing. So as I continue to apply myself, I will continue to align with the solutions that are here, align with the beings that are walking the solution of the only point that can be walked, which is equality of all life. I mean, that's the point that's missing. And walking as myself, grounded, direct, stopping fear. So once fear is stopped, once we live equal here, fear will cease to exist. Survival will cease to exist. The fear of catastrophe will cease to exist, because life will be aligned, life will be balanced, and life will be supported, and life will be free to express itself. So it'll be a different world, and that's the walk I'm walking, is to the solution to the issues, taking responsibility for myself and stopping distracting myself with fears and what-if scenarios that aren't beneficial for anyone, for myself, for life, and aligning myself with life here as a physical in-breath and walking myself as a solution. Thanks.